I mean, you tell me.
Is it Umar Ballo? Is it Jalen Clark?
It's a good question.
Is it TJ Bamba?
Is this a rhetorical question, or are you going to answer that?
Could be any of those four.
It could be any of those four. And I think the real question that we need to ask is, who are they, really? Because both of these teams, you look at Colorado in the games they have won versus the 9 games they have lost, and these are 2 totally different teams. And it's not like they haven't beaten good teams. And then same thing with Oregon. The number disparity in scoring and points allowed and field goal percentage, these are 2 teams that we have not been able to figure out.
Yeah, one major issue for each team. Colorado and the turnovers, like historic level turnover numbers, and then Oregon is just not a good enough 3-point shooting team. When they've shot it well from behind the line, they usually win, but they've had some head-scratching games. Not that they've lost, but like last time they played Colorado in Boulder, 41 points. And so, again, we wouldn't be talking about them if we didn't think they could do it, because they've shown that they can do it. It's really about consistency, getting yourself ready to play every night mentally so that you can get on a winning streak, because they can do it. And if they want to play in the NCAA tournament, which is a pretty big carrot dangling in front of you, they need to start getting consistent like now.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing. The Ducks have not won consecutive games on a conference homestand or road trip this season, which is hard to believe.
Unreal.
Yeah, I mean, you beat Arizona, and then you lose to a Stanford team that was 1-7 in conference play. So for Oregon, and we just got word that N'Faly Dante may not be starting tonight. Reports are that he had a pregame injury and has ice on his knee. So if that is true,
hopefully not long term, but if it is long term, that is a big blow to this Oregon team. He was having a terrific year, and you saw that loss to Stanford. Stanford did a great job of doubling the post. Dante was limited to 9 points. Will Richardson was limited as well. Those 2 guys, usually when those 2 play well, they play well and win games. So, but they have bigs to step up. Nate Biddle, Khalil Ware, both 7-footers. So they have guys that can replace Dante. Those guys, we're talking about stepping up this time of year. Perfect opportunity for Ware and Biddle tonight to step up if Dante, well, we know Dante's not playing tonight, and hopefully he'll be back, but opportunity for both those guys.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And then real quick on the Buffs, and we talked about KJ Simpson. He had the game winner against Washington State last time out. We've seen how well he can play. What's the most important thing for Colorado as they try to stack some wins and get some consistency going into?
Well, I think it seems like it's Simpson one night and De Silva the other. Like, let's get Simpson and De Silva on the same night and see what happens, because I believe when that happens, they're pretty good and win games. But it's really about them not turning it over. It's always, under Tad Boyle, been about defense and rebounding. So if they bring the defense tonight, not turn it over, get production from Simpson and De Silva, they give themselves a good chance to win.
Yeah, also another fun nugget, the 2 longest tenured coaches in the Pac-12, Tad Boyle and Dana Altman tonight. And we always see, you call it the Dana Altman special. It always feels like right around when February hits.
Valentine's Day is usually the kickoff, so we got a few weeks, but they're kind of in position now, Ash, where they need to get it going now.
We will find out. Ted Robinson and Ernie Kent have the call from Matt Knight Arena in Eugene. Enjoy it. It's Oregon and Colorado tipping off. We will see you at the half.
All right, our Thursday night here on Pac-12 Network starts at the Matthew Knight Arena in Eugene. It's presented by Wendy's, the Oregon Ducks, and the Colorado Buffaloes to get things going. We are in Eugene. I am sitting next to Duck royalty. Every person in the arena has already come by to say hi to Ernie. So now we can focus on the game, Ernie. How would you describe this matchup?
Hey, consistently inconsistent is how I describe it, because you've got 2 teams. It must be very difficult for the coaches. You just don't know which team is going to show up. To give you an example, you know, Oregon beats Arizona and then turns around and loses to Stanford on the road and everything. Colorado is just as undecisive in what they do, but they have 2 star players that really will dictate what happens in this game.
Yeah, and Colorado leans so much on Tristan De Silva.
They certainly do it. The thing I want to say about him is when he's at home, he's a different player. 19.9 points a game at home, 10.5 points a game on the road. Shoots 58% when he's at home. And that's just not consistent enough to be a leader of a team. You have to bring that offensive firepower on the road with you. Will Richardson, on the other hand, when he's locked in, when he has his energy, his drive, his grit, Oregon plays at a different level. So again, the leaders of these teams have to bring their A game, whether they're home or on the road, particularly in this game this evening.
All right, starting lineups, and the 10 that are on the floor are one story, but there is really a bigger story because of one name who's not in that 10, and it just happened a few minutes ago. It's the second time this month I've had this where a player 10 minutes before the game has been scratched. It's Enfale Dante, who apparently, you're going to see the left knee there during both shoot-around today and then pregame warm-ups tonight, did something to that knee and is, we're told, at least not started.
Well, I thought he was great in shoot-around. Maybe just a little bit too much dunking during the warm-ups and pregame stuff to kind of tweak something there, unfortunately, for the Ducks.
All right, so Colorado with the first possession and De Silva with the first make.
You know, he's a really, really improved player. And the key thing is just, again, the consistency of his game coming on the road with him. Colorado starts the game a little pester press, making Oregon take some time off the clock.
So Couisnard, as has happened for Oregon lately, doing a lot of work with the ball, letting Richardson operate more off the ball. And Guerrier back in the starting lineup. Guerrier had 52 straight starts until he was put back onto the reserve role. Returns to the lineup tonight, hits his first shot.
You know, it's important when you go from being a starter to reserve, you keep your mental where it needs to be.
And Nate Biddle there puts that one away.
How about Nate Biddle? I mean, follows that ball. This is a great job. Great block without fouling.
And there's a story in this game that we'll watch. We just saw Javon Hadley of Colorado do something. And it's been openly talked about by both sides, but Oregon really feels like they've been hurt by dribble penetration. And Dana Altman emphasized that to his team today. Stanford really hurt them with it last Saturday.
And some of that comes from defending the ball, but also the other players being alert. Usually on defense, everybody defends the basketball, not just the guy guarding the ball. That's a walk.
Yeah, they peeled away.
Ooh, shot clock.
So no basket there for Lovering, but here's the first Colorado score.
There it is right there, dribble penetration. That's going to be the key in this game, to be able to stop that ball from getting in the lane, which really sucks the defense in, leaving the shooter wide open on the perimeter.
KJ Simpson defends Will Richardson, at least to start the game. Handoff to Soares. Strong there, but that's good offensive rebounding. And eventually Biddle secures. Javon Hadley on Richardson here. Now Guerrier going to start something. And Richardson trying to finish, can't. Oh, and Colorado didn't save the rebound. But Oregon can't take advantage.
One of the things Tad Boyle talked about was rebounding the ball. They dominated Oregon on the glass in Boulder. Another dribble penetration.
Simpson got in, and then Lovering's offensive rebound, foul on the floor here.
No, this is just one-on-one basketball. You got to get down in your stance and move your feet. It's got to be a challenge for you to keep that offensive player out of the lane from penetrating with the basketball.
Tad Boyle now the winningest coach at CU. And the Buffs won here last year, broke a long losing streak in this building. This has been a very one-sided rivalry in the pack. Colorado has dominated the Ducks in Boulder. Oregon has had much the better of things here.
You know, both of these teams, again, I like their energy right now. We'll know a lot about this game within the first 10 minutes. Is Will Richardson locked in, focused in, really carrying his team? And
you, Coach Kent, you would know, that's exactly what Dana was talking about today, and having a chance to visit with him after their shoot around. It's the energy and the focus, and back to your point, it's been consistently inconsistent.
And with both these teams, Colorado's a little bit different, but they're a young team. And that mental of knowing your job, doing your job every single possession, that can get away from a young team with mental breakdown, mental lapses. Oregon, on the other hand, theirs is about coming ready to play, bringing your A game, that A energy and intensity every night.
All right, good high ball screen there to get Richardson, or to get Simpson rather, the shot. Sibley setting up De Silva. Look at this all dribble drive by Colorado, and De Silva flips it in with the left.
Well, two things. As much as Dana has talked about shutting down the dribble drive, I'll guarantee you Daboll has talked about attacking them off the dribble because they have a hard time playing defense against ball handlers.
Right now the switch, Couisnard has 7-footer Lovering, so shoots over him. Simpson looking, that's a little bit of an advantage. Colorado does not finish now. Simpson takes it into the big guy Biddle.
That is their 4th possession of dribble penetration.
Ooh, right inside that. That was a little bit of a log jam. Ball back into the hands of Couisnard. And Oregon will keep it with 18 to shoot. Well, we're having 4 minutes to start the game here. That a little reflective of what the conference has seen a lot this year, struggling to score.
I think a lot of that, Ted, is a lot of great premier players have left this conference in the last couple of years that are playing in the NBA right now that were great scorers in this conference.
Right, Clifford triggers the run here for Colorado. One of those players is supposed to be here tonight. I haven't seen him yet sitting here. Jabari Walker is supposed to be here to watch CU play. Andy with a spin. That one swatted away. Biddle, I believe, got that piece. Colorado getting inside and getting shots, just not getting a lot of points. And now we'll get our first timeout, 4.5 minutes in.
You know, again, we talk about this game being about defense to begin with, and you've got to be able to shut down the drive. And Colorado, I know they know N'Faly Dante's not on that floor, so they're going to attack the basket. Oregon's got to do a much better job of keeping them out on the perimeter.
Happy Trapper, beefy moment, KJ Simpson.
You know, this is the sign that you're a well-coached basketball team when you can have this type of improvement from one year to the next. Particularly your biggest improvements from your freshman to your sophomore year. But KJ Simpson has done a very good job. But this tells me that he has been in the gym. Points, 10 more points a game, 9 percentage points more than three-point shooting, and obviously the rebounding's improved as well too. So here's a young man that is susceptible to coaching and then has really worked on his game, and the numbers will tell you that, and his confidence will tell you that too. That's a very confident young man out there on that floor.
We just remind you, that was the old Trapper BB moment. Third time was the charm. Hey, he's from West Hills, California. He went to Chaminade High School, which is the California version. Same high school that Stanford's Michael O'Connell went to in New York. And about 67 years ago, I went to.
Hey!
So I talked to KJ about it today. Well educated. He said, man, college has been not bad for him both on and off the court because of the prep he got in high school.
Ted, that was your 6th penetrating dribble by this Colorado team. I would have to think they don't fear Oregon as much without Dante playing in the ball game.
Oh, and Couisnard in there. That's a great point, Ernie. And here's the other thing, and again, this is a stat, so it's out there, but Dana was hammering the point home to his team today. Colorado, in their Sunday win, you saw Simpson make the game-winning shot. They only took 7 threes in the game.
Yes. They don't shoot a lot of threes, but they do a lot of dribble penetration. So I wouldn't be surprised if Oregon threw a little zone on them just to keep them on the outside a little bit better.
Hillel Ware's in the game out of the timeout for the Ducks. And again, N'Faly Dante not starting. We're not sure if he's going to play at all. Ice bag on his left knee at the end of warm-ups tonight. Well, right now, that's a couple of misses, but the omen for Colorado is good. They're getting the ball right to the rim. Luke O'Brien in the game, trying to stay with Richardson. There's the pick, the roll. Ware, that is Ware, by the way. Yes, he did visit the barber at some point since we last saw him. I did a triple take when I saw him today.
Well,
whoa!
As you can see, though, nice-looking young man when he cleans himself up like that. And I'm hoping he cleaned up his game as well, because they're going to need his production with N'Faly Dante not playing.
Exactly.
They've got to get more production inside from someone with the blocks, with the dunks, with the scoring.
Well, Ware hasn't played a lot lately, and you figure that's going to change tonight.
Got an opportunity.
Guerrier in, and Guerrier scores it. So Oregon answering Colorado's penetration. Game tied.
You know, the thing about Colorado is they turn the ball over a lot.
Yes.
And a lot of those are unforced turnovers. So this is why Oregon needs to get after them defensively. Dana talked about this today. They don't shoot a lot of threes. Pressure that ball more. Make them have to handle them. Make them have to make 1, 2, 3, 4 passes.
Whoa, and there you go. Well, that's De Silva, who hit a 3 to start the game, sets up O'Brien's 3. KJ Simpson out right now. Julian Hammond and Ethan Wright both in off the Colorado bench.
That was set up again off a dribble penetration. Sucks in the defense. Wide open three-point shooter.
And this is the former Buff. Second time now that Barthelme's played against the team that he was with for a couple of years. And inside Ware flushes.
Where have you been? That was nice.
Yeah. Oh, and Hammond, look at Red Sea defense there. It parted.
It did, and I'll say again, you may need to zone a little bit and get this team to stand around a little bit more, because right now, they're smelling it. They know they can beat you off the dribble and get to the basket. Colorado, on the other hand, they do a nice job of keeping that ball out of the lane. You see they're in a nice stance, arms are nice and long, and they really take up your driving lane. You don't see a lot of space to drive when they're on defense because of their floor position.
All right, Luke Moore's getting an early call again with Dante out. That's going to mean that Ware has just been taken out. Dana Altman instructing. And Dana, well, yeah, Dana Altman has been, I mean, Ware's a guy, that's a turnover by Colorado. But to finish, Dana Altman's been extremely open. I mean, Khalil Ware came in here with all his buildup, and his minutes have reduced lately. And Dana said, we've actually had conversations. They haven't gone quite the way I'd like them to go. So
keep in mind, Dana was pressing that time when the turnover came.
Yeah.
So I think they need to put more pressure on Colorado in the full court, because again, they are susceptible to turnovers, unforced turnovers and forced turnovers with pressure defense.
All right, late clock here. Richardson has to take it. Oh, man, let that ball spin out. Julian Hammond back. Gabadon in the game for the first time for the Buffs. Jalen Gabadon.
A lot of driving lanes out there.
O'Brien goes right in over Luke Warren. Cleared by Soares. Thought he was going to spot up for a 3, but he takes it right in and finishes. Rivaldo Soares.
Oh, nice move. Good job of crossing over, getting into the lane.
Hammond off the screen, hits his jumper.
You know what, Colorado, you know, again, they're a team that has kind of settled down and found themselves throughout the course of the season. The biggest thing is just being a little bit more consistent.
Oh, nice bounce off the high post back to the basket. Biddle to Barthelme.
Well, they're certainly upset because he worked on that play the game. When they hit high post, they cross, watch the back door.
Whoa. Man, that was a good screen by Hadley. Gets the ball back. And gave it to Gabadon for a clean 3.
Now that was a great defensive possession that time by the Ducks.
Baseline kick, and Luke Warren is a good look. Boy, long stretch here without a whistle. Poked by Barthelme. Hammond saves. Now Hadley playing almost like a 5. It's really a 5 less position right now for Colorado. Hammond sets up Wright. And Ethan Wright knocks down a 3.
The one guy you don't want to help off of is Ethan Wright. He's one of the better shooters on Colorado's team. And unfortunately, with all the dribble penetration, Oregon is almost over-committing to shut down the drive right now.
Well, you'll see at the top of your picture, you have a whole slew of buffs waiting to check in the game, but we're going to have a timeout eventually here. And we're going to have back-to-back timeouts because this is a long stretch now. It's nice to see, but it's unusual without a whistle.
He's not a three-point shooter. This is a driver.
Hammond on one right, and at the big guy, Biddle stuffs him. Hammond will let it go.
Good job by Biddle. Gave a little room that time, just played big underneath.
And now we have finally get the stoppage of play because of a shaken up Bartholomew. That was over 3 minutes of uninterrupted play. Put that in the archives. Remember when? I hope Bartholomew's okay. See you by 4. By Wendy's, the official breakfast of the NCAA. By Jockey, the official apparel and comfort brand of the Pac-12 Conference. Look for Jockey's Made in America collection at jockey.com. And by Chase, make more of what's yours. That's great, boy. What a place. Well, Ernie Kent,
the pit.
You own some splinters from that, don't you? Still, probably.
I certainly do, and I always get a kick of walking into that MAC room over there and seeing me on the sidelines coaching against Washington State and Clay, which I later coached at Washington State. Exactly. So it's a pretty unique picture sitting in there.
Yeah, that's a club that's just off the behind the stands here for some of the special folks here at Oregon, and that is a piece of the floor from MAC Court, which still stands. And man, I love that place.
I love the Matthew Knight Arena. Don't get me wrong.
I know.
There was nothing like the pit.
Exactly.
Voted top 10 all-time toughest places to play by Sports Illustrated.
Ancient reference, I know. I've said this before, but the first time I ever went in there, I walked, oh my God, this is a mini Boston Garden. That's what it felt like, the Boston Garden.
Only difference is the scoreboard didn't bounce in Boston Garden. It would bounce up and down in MAC Court.
All right, back to play for what will be a short segment here, and there's a good start to it for Oregon. And Bartholomew, a little conversation at the Colorado bench after he made that shot.
I don't know if it's at the bench or the group of people sitting behind the bench.
Maybe somebody, yeah.
Somebody gave him a little bit of fire.
Yeah.
Fire on him.
Thankfully, he did it while he was going the other way, so he didn't get teed up for the taunting that's being called more this year. Simpson back in the game.
Tell you what, Biddle's doing a nice job.
Yeah.
Probably Dante not playing, kind of controlling the paint, rebounding, and he can do this.
And he can. Good call, Ernie Kent.
Got to let it fly.
And he's going to play. I mean, if he can stay out of foul trouble, he's going to play, 30-plus minutes tonight, wouldn't you?
Yep. You notice Oregon's defensive pressure is picked up because, again, they know this is the team that'll turn the ball over, but you have to get after them. You can't let them dictate tempo. You have to dictate tempo to them.
And it's an offensive foul. Lovering banging his way into Biddle, and that'll get us right back to timeout.
You know, with N'Faly Dante not playing, Biddle takes on a different role. He does a good job rebounding, but one thing he can do that Dante can't do is stretch the floor with the best of them.
Well, no greater value than a big man that can block shots. Nate Biddle has done 3 of that already tonight, Ernie, but also a big man that can run the floor.
Well, let's take a look because he's trailing the play right now, and he's kind of lost his defender a little bit. And I'll tell you why, because normally when you're 7 feet tall and trail, people think you're going to run down and post up in the paint down here. But instead, he does a nice job of freezing because he knows he can shoot the 3. And somebody didn't get this scouting report because this is a pick and pop big guy. He can set screens, pop and shoot the 3. Yes, he can score inside, but you've got to know where he is in transition because he can certainly pull up and shoot it with the best of them.
Yep. Well, what a nice start for Nate Biddle. Again, going to play a lot of minutes tonight. That kind of play reminds you of what we have seen from the Pac-12 reigning player of the week. Brandon Carlson has excelled at those kind of plays this year. What a year he's having for the Utes. Jordan Pope, freshman player of the week, had a big game at Berkeley Sunday for the Beavers. That will follow us next on Pac-12 Networks.
Brandon Carlson is a pro. He reminds me of Marketing that's playing at Utah Jazz right now, where he can block shots, score inside, dunk on you, catch alley-oop lob, put it down on the floor. Oh, yeah, and he can shoot the heck out of the 3 as well.
Boy, in Oregon, shooting is, we said, look, shooting has been, and the coaches know it, shooting's been a struggle for a lot of teams in the conference this year. Oregon's in a hot streak of shooting right now, and they've opened up a 4-point lead.
Keyshawn Bellamy has done a great job of coming in off the bench and has found his stroke immediately.
Whoa. Well, that is much needed, both for him personally, Nick Clifford, and then for the Buffs. He's been in offensive drought. So that's a nice make for Clifford. Oregon's three-point shooting has been right near the bottom of the conference. They're off to a decent start tonight. Let's see where that goes. That's going to stay with the Ducks with 11 to shoot.
I think, Ted, that's one of the reasons Oregon has struggled this year, because if you look at Dana's teams, particularly in the last 3, 4, 5 years, he's always had, in my opinion, a pure shooter and a great shooter. And it opens the floor up so much, it puts the pressure on the defense when you can shoot the ball so well. That's been a big reason for me why they've struggled so much this year. They just don't shoot it as well as they've done in the past.
And that's an offensive foul going against Biddle. That'll be his first. I'm going to ask you another question here, Coach Kent. We'll use a little raw basketball term. Does Oregon have a dog?
No.
And you had him here, and Dana's had him here, and I would say the same thing. I don't see a dog this year.
And what we say about a dog, a guy just
D-A-W-G.
Yes, flats out, want to play, shows up every day in practice for the game. Luke Ridnour, Aaron Brooks, Luke Jackson, Malik Harrison, Tawan Porter.
And
I had guys,
even Peyton Pritchard was recently here.
Yes, where you didn't even have to worry about punching them because they took control.
Duarte is another one.
Exactly, and took control of the team as well too. So a dog, as we call it, is that guy that just comes every day and flat out gets after it. And you don't have to worry about having to motivate him or seeing if he's ready to play. He's always ready to play.
All right, Kalel Ware is back in the game for Oregon. And inside that pass right to Da Silva.
Unforced turnovers are the worst turnovers you can have in basketball. Because with no pressure and you're throwing the ball away, and another drive.
Baseline, but Gavin didn't get it home.
I heard Dana say several times today, number 3 does not shoot threes. Gap him and take away the drive.
Look at Simpson. He saw, that's the beauty of KJ Simpson. He saw Ware and took it right at the big guy.
Well, there wasn't great ball screen help that time to give him an opportunity to go get going downhill, as we call it. And as a big guy, you cannot move your feet to stay with that type of quickness.
Shot fake, and Da Silva went for it. Soares got caught inside. Ball out to Colorado. Much of the Colorado offense, if you go by points per game, it's really 2 guys. As Clifford with a miss there. Da Silva and Simpson combined for a lot of the points.
Well, they certainly do. They've kind of taken over this team, and they're the 2 studs on the floor, and they come ready to play.
And Gary inside foul.
Now, Tristan Da Silva comes to play at home, not so much on the road, but KJ Simpson, he's always ready to play. He gets the switch there, gets the big guy backpedaling, and then just completely gets going downhill on where you can't guard him. If you're big, you can't stay up with that type of quickness. Again, another dribble penetration by Colorado. That's probably, I have counted as the 12th one of the game so far.
That right there, that's the first foul shot of the game. Just under 5 minutes to play in the first half.
Very first half. Last half, I should say.
Perrier. Big changes now for Oregon, including first appearance for Brennan Rigsby. And 2 foul shots made by Guerrier.
You know, Oregon on occasion, they'll put that full court pressure on you. I still think they need to turn it up a little bit more because Colorado is turnover prone, as you can see. And the more pressure you can put on them without getting beat off the dribble.
And that gets back to your point from earlier, Ernie. You coached against it, so you know that Dana has always had a good press here.
Always. And it gets the crowd into the game, and they get you to turn it over. And again, against a team that turns it over, as Biddle steps out another, what I call pick and pop jump shot there.
A long rebound to Oregon. Guerrier, tough shot. Not a shot really, but Biddle can make good and does. That's a bailout. Nice bailout.
Understand something. You don't have pure shooters. Offense becomes bogged down. It makes it very difficult to score freely because you can't spread the floor and keep the defense honest.
Screen by Hadley, but O'Brien gave it up. Boy, it's every buff. They're just taking the ball and driving it.
Every shot is in the lane. This is a well-coached team that knows their strength is not shooting threes. Their strength is getting into the paint, either by the pass or by the dribble, and playing the offensive game 5 feet from the bucket versus 30 feet from the bucket.
Colorado has taken 8 threes in this first half. It doesn't feel that way.
Nope.
Biddle against Lovering. And Biddle scores again. Well, Lovering has had some very good defensive performances. It's something we talked to Tad Boyle about in the pregame. Nate Biddle is getting his moment in his first half and delivering.
Well, this is what's impressive about this, because Lovering's a good defender, but Biddle is not bad defense, just better offense. Biddle scores again.
Well, that is Ethan Varney. He is a junior here at Oregon, majoring in product design. He's from Louisville, Colorado. That's where the Northwest Highway ends. It's just south of Boulder. It's on the road between Boulder and Denver. Ethan Varney tonight produced this unique game day poster. The first 100 fans received a printed copy. The artwork is available online, and it's intended to cross-promote talents of Oregon students with Oregon student athletes. So that's the game poster for this, a very fitting thing. And what Ethan Varney said was because he knows the feeling of both schools playing against each other, that's an old school 8-bit basketball video game against each other. And the sad part is I recognize that game. That's well done. It's kind of those are uplifting moments for us right now in all the turmoil in college athletics when you see the incredible skills of students in other fields.
No question
at these
about
universities.
it. Oregon's in a full court press. It'll be man-to-man. They may run and jump and put a little pressure, but I think this is good just to see how CU handles it. And I like the fact they're starting to gap the ball handler, give him a little bit more space to kind of keep him out of the lane.
Rigsby for Oregon guarding Simpson on this possession. Hadley, late clock. Again, now Hammond will have to shoot it. Got it off in time. It did hit rim. But back comes Bartholomew.
Trying to get a little isolation on one side of the floor with Biddle and Richardson. And again, this is one of those games where Richardson needs to step up and do more and get after this Colorado team, because he's certainly capable of doing it.
Out to Rigsby. And Simpson clears the defensive boards. We'll go under 2 minutes on this trip. Spot up 3. Good clean look.
Yes, it was. But it was a 3 and not a 5-foot shot.
Right. Ooh, bad screen. Oh, and that's second foul now. Only the second on Biddle, so but still may push Dana Altman's hand here. Dana can't believe it.
Well, the rule on this is you've got to get set. If you can see, he made that one step. Even as the defender was moving, he made that extra step, and that's why it was called a blocking foul.
That's a good call.
Yeah, no question about
Call. Moving
An
screen.
offensive player with the ball has to wait.
Yes.
Let the screen be set. So that's more of the ball handler's fault than Bigsby's fault, Biddle's fault, I should say. So unfortunately, he gets the foul.
So now Kalel Ware comes back in the game. Dana Altman going to keep Biddle from getting a third foul before halftime. Big screen by Lovering, but they cut off Simpson nicely. Hadley in the paint. Is that 3?
I tell you what,
was a 3 second. I'm not sure what that call was.
It was 3 seconds.
Was it 3 seconds? Okay.
It is the most, what I'm saying, underused call in basketball. You just never see it anymore. And that was a good call, but you very rarely ever see 3 points. 3 seconds in the lane. I mean, 3 seconds in the lane called anymore in college basketball.
So now the Buffs have gone over 2 minutes without a point. And this last 75 seconds could be big. And there's one big one. Barthélemy makes his second 3 of the half.
He's been the difference in this game. He's taking on the offensive load for Oregon. And let me tell you something, the reason Colorado has outscored, Oregon is doing a better job of just kind of gapping and giving them a little bit more space and not put so much pressure on the ball, therefore taking away the dribble penetration.
Well, right now the Ducks have the game's biggest lead and they can build on it. Ooh, Cousineau rattled it. Let's see if Oregon goes fast to try for a 2-for-1 here. Well, they're going to get it the wrong way with a turnover, and Guerrier takes it home.
That was a tough shot.
Yeah,
it might have been better to wait and get a good shot in that possession because you really...
Oh, nice spot inside, and Hadley gets the layup. Oregon will now get the last shot, but an easy 2 for the Buffs.
Dana uses his timeout that he has to have to use it this half or lose it, but I thought Guerrier should have stopped, gathered himself, and went up strong. Sometimes players are off balance. I feel like you just got to get the shot off, and it ends up being a bad shot where if he was a little bit more under control, stopped, gathered himself, and went up strong, maybe even getting the foul call.
All right, 19.4 before the last possession, and now this message from Chime.
You deserve a better credit score. Chime's here to help. Just use the card with on-time payments. You'll be happy where it can take you. Whoa. Whoa. Get started at Chime.com.
All right, last seconds of the half coming up here. We'll have Ashley and Don back in our studio with halftime on this busy Thursday night. Donnie Mack, I know, is wound up. He is wound up, and he's gonna take care of all of halftime for us. I can feel it.
Hey, working with Ashley, he better be wound up because she's like the A+ team. And you better be on your A+ game working with Ashley.
Rivaldo soars, and Nate Biddle come back in for this offensive trip for the Ducks.
Big possession here just to close out the half the right way, get some momentum going into the locker room as well, and keep in control of this game.
Tad Boyle put Gabadon in here to guard Couisnard. Couisnard taking him. Couisnard flew right by him. Wow. That was a Linda Ronstadt special. Blew by you.
I like that.
Jerome Couisnard. Here he comes.
I like it more of NC Hammer myself because he looked at him and said, "You can't touch this." Oh.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good one-on-one move, and unfortunately, the thing about Oregon is they do have some opportunities to isolate on the floor now and take advantage of Colorado. You saw one of those situations there, and certainly with Barthélemy, he's played real well in the first half of this game.
Yes, he has. Keyshawn Barthélemy actually had a couple of made threes, and he's a double-figure scorer, 10 points at halftime. Well, the Buffs came out with their thing, dribble penetration, but it's the Ducks by 6 at the half. Ashley and Don on the other side.
Welcome to the Pac-12 Halftime Report presented by Principal.
You know,
Nate
Ted
Biddle.
Robinson, I am wound up.
Yes, he always is. Don McClain ready to go. So is Nate Biddle. He's got 7 points, 7 rebounds in the first half, and the Ducks have a 32-26 lead over the Colorado Buffaloes at home as we welcome you inside our Pac-12 Network studios. Yes, Don, you are wired?
Well,
ready to go? What'd you see in the first half?
Something that came up in the pregame a couple times, which individuals are going to step up? It's that time of the year. We're halfway through the conference schedule. We got 6 teams that still got a chance to play in the NCAA tournament. Everybody's seen each other. So who's going to step up? So right before we go off the air, we find out N'Faly Dante's not playing. So I'm looking at you, Nate Biddle. I'm looking at you, Khalil Ware. And Nate Biddle stepped up, 7 points, career high, 7 rebounds, 3 blocks. So that's what I'm talking about. Like, you hope there's not injury so that other guys have to step up. But just in general, like, which players are going to step up? We're talking about two inconsistent teams in Colorado and Oregon. But if individuals increase their game, doesn't that mean that the team will probably become more consistent? If you get performances, more of a performance from individuals, then the team's probably going to be better. And so starting right now, Ashley, halftime Thursday, what's the date? January
26th?
26th. From now until the end of the regular season, we are tracking individual performances, who is doing more than expected to get their team more wins.
On notice. I like that. All right, and real quick, we should mention KJ Bartholomew, first game against his former team, and he's playing well, 4 of 5 from the floor and 10 points to lead all scorers.
In talking to their coaches, I had their game at Utah a couple weeks ago. They really were talking about getting Bartholomew. They had just gotten Kusnard back, but they were talking about getting Bartholomew back and the dimension that he brings them. More of a pop, more athletic than Will Richardson, can make a three, as you saw in that first half. So hopefully Dante's not out for a while, but I think the more Bartholomew plays, the more comfortable he's going to get and the more of an effect on the game he's going to have. He had a good first half.
Yeah, definitely a different story than when these two teams played in Boulder earlier this month. There is a huge showdown going down right now at the Galen Center. We'll check in on USC and UCLA on the other side. Don't go away.
All right, back to Eugene we come. Our Allegiant Air nonstop life. Well, it means something. Former Buff Keyshawn Bartholomew leading first half scorer with 10.
I'll tell you what, 4 for 5 from the field, 2 for 2 from the three. He's taken on the role of leading this team right now. He's providing the energy. He's been that what we call a DAWG dog, because he certainly has brought his game, and I think he's given Oregon a big lift if they need it, particularly shooting the ball.
All right, and if you look at the two big dogs for Colorado, KJ Simpson was just 2 for 7 in the half. Tristan Da Silva 2 of 5. So they didn't do the damage that Colorado would like.
Well, I thought starting the game you saw a lot of dribble penetration. Oregon made a nice adjustment. They basically gapped. They moved off the offensive player, taking away the drive game, and they've been standing around a little bit. Consequently, they haven't scored as much.
All right, look at the numbers, and you can see that Colorado comes out driving the ball and everything. Look at the points in the paint, even without N'Faly Dante playing.
Well, and that's kind of people look at that and think that's all the big men down there doing the damage. No, those are guards getting into the lane, getting to the hole. By both of these teams are scoring in the paint with dribble penetration and getting inside by their smaller players.
But if you would tell me Oregon half their points tonight coming in the paint without Dante playing, that's pretty good.
Well, it is pretty good, and again, hats off to Biddle, because Biddle's played really nice, and he's done some nice things and scored a couple of those buckets.
And Nate Biddle, that's the other story. Bartholomew had 10 points, but Nate Biddle, probably the biggest impact in the half. 7 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 blocks.
That's a nice job, considering you're thinking, Fowler's going to play and everything, and he doesn't. So Dante's out, and then Biddle steps up, taking advantage of those minutes. Here he is again, jump hook over the top.
Gets it to go and one.
Sometimes this happens that a player goes down, you're called on to do more, you get an opportunity to touch it more, score it more. He starts to feel it, he wants to show he can play. I tell you what, he's playing against a really good defender, because you look at the job he's done on the floor, and you think about Lawson Lovering, what he did to Dante in Colorado had 2 points against them, and then Muhammad Gayab at Washington State, he didn't score against Lovering, and Biddle now is just dominating them in the paint. I'd go at him, 2 or 3 times down the floor in a row here, just see if he can get on his game even more so.
Well, that's N'Faly Dante, so we get a pretty clear idea. He's not going to play at all tonight. Again, Dante went through the full shoot-around today, went through pregame warm-up, and then just came out 10 minutes before tip with an ice bag on his left knee, and we were told not going to start.
Sometimes you can do a little bit too much. You're ready to play, you're eager to play. Look at this year, Ted. This is pretty impressive.
That's a 7-footer heat check, huh? And there's Biddle fighting and trying to save it. He can't. Biddle himself was out of bounds, so the ball back to Colorado.
There's Chauncey Billups sitting down there, that great coach up at Portland right now. I saw him before the game, told me he's doing a heck of a job. Just keep letting Damon shoot that ball.
Exactly.
Literally had 60 the other night.
Amazing what a good coach you are when you have a guy that goes 60. What, 4 times? Did I hear that? 4th time he's done that?
4th time he's done it, but I'll tell you what, Chauncey's done an incredible job up there. I mean, they struggled last year with having personnel injured and everything else, but you're talking about a turnaround and have a team in a nice groove right now. That's off to him. He's done an outstanding job.
Trying to slam that in tight quarters to Biddle. We're going to get, let's see, we're going to get a little conference here. The original call was ball back to Colorado, but that's being corrected, and it will be Oregon retaining. Good teamwork there. Greg Nixon, Eric Curry, Mike Littlewood are officials. Mike Littlewood just retired as baseball coach at BYU.
How about that?
Told him he's got to share that story about you, about stepping away from coaching.
You bet.
Berrier, no, yes.
Another in their paint bucket for Oregon as well. That's 18 points in the paint for them.
So biggest lead, 10 points.
Now, the thing I notice about these officials, now that I'm sitting over here doing TV, the officiating is a lot better for some reason.
Yeah.
You don't have all that pressure on you. They're doing a heck of a job.
Simpson in, Simpson short, Lovering back up. And there's Lovering's first points. Again, Lovering, the Colorado people very quick to say, that's the focus. Everybody in this world focuses on how many points he scores. He has been so valued as a defender.
Now keep in mind again, we talked about Tristan Da Silva. At home, 20 points a game, almost 20 a game. On the road, just under 11 points a game. He needs to get going for his team now.
Hadley clears that. Javon Ruffin, by the way, is out again tonight for Colorado. Did not go through any of the shoot-around today. As Clifford knocks down his second three of the game.
That's a breakdown on Oregon's defensive transition, leaving them wide open in the corner. Everybody got sucked in the lane guarding KJ Simpson that time and left them wide open.
Richardson, and Richardson ducks in and scores, and everything in that possession there highlights the difference for Oregon in conference play, because Couisnard is playing now, that he can be on ball, and Richardson can operate that way.
Exactly. Gives him an opportunity to free up all the ball handling part of his game and just go ahead and focus on scoring a little bit more.
Here's Da Silva in with the answer. It's his third basket. 7-point lead for Oregon as Richardson drives in. That is a block.
You know, you brought up a very good point, because Richardson needs to get more aggressive. I didn't think he was involved offensively as much as he needed to be, and a lot of that had to do with just dribbling the ball. Now you can move him off the ball a little bit and give him an opportunity to go think, score, attack, get a little bit more aggressive.
So Richardson at the line here, fouls on Nick Clifford. Hey, when he first came here, Peyton Pritchard was in his last year, and that's what allowed Richardson to come in comfortably. Peyton Pritchard's the QB, and Richardson can run off the ball.
He might have come in comfortably, but I tell you what, Peyton Pritchard probably made him pay for it in practice, because he is a competitor. Yeah. And I'm just so impressed with the job he's done playing with the Celtics in a reserve role. But we had a great season last year, and I'm sure as they head down the second half of the season, they're going to need him to, again, step up and play a major role coming off the bench.
All right, everything in the building. Greg Nixon just came over to tell us that the in-house, well, all right, now they've got it back. The in-house scoreboards were down. They're going to reboot the scoreboards. John Wooden and Dean Smith, do you think they ever got asked, do you want to reboot timeout? Let's see. No, we're not going to take one. They're going to continue to play. They've been able to get it going again here. And the mat. Well, look at that job by Soares, and he does a nice job to edge inside Lovering and steal a possession.
You know, here's a smaller athletic player, just be a little bit quicker off the block and get in the inside position. Lovering gets a hand on the ball and knocks it out of bounds.
Nice play by Soares, and that just chews at a coach, doesn't it?
It certainly does.
Missed free throws.
And your 7-footer doesn't get the rebound.
Yeah. Kellel Ware lost it flying up. They'll come back into Oregon with 13 to shoot. Now this is the kind of game, feels to me like the kind of game Colorado just played Sunday in Boulder, and KJ Simpson at the game winner to beat Washington State. This feels like that same kind of game. It's a grinder.
They're definitely, both of these teams are grinding on offense, especially KJ struggling, Tristan Da Silva struggling to score. So
Soares, nice move to his right. He got a little edge there on Luke O'Brien and took it.
And both teams are attacking the basket, so really the game's going to come down to who can force the other team to shoot jump shots versus getting layups 2 feet from the basket.
Nice job by Javon Hadley to keep it alive, and then O'Brien's shot stopped. And now the Ducks come back with a chance to get back to a double-digit lead. Richardson in and one. The lefty.
You know,
got
sometimes I wish he'd push the ball even faster down the floor, but he's such a heady point guard. He knows when to go and when to slow. He turns it on here, gets to the rim, sets him up so nicely for the and one.
Well, it is Next Diva Team Talk time, and when it's time to talk with your team, always use Next Diva. Before he was talking to Aaron Curry, what was Tad Boyle talking about?
I think he's talking about not getting beat so much off the dribble. They started the game and all their players were down in a defensive stance. Arms are out long. You didn't see a lot of driving lanes. They've given up now 24 points in the paint. And those are not by post-up dumping it in. Those are by beating your man off the dribble. Very similar to what they were doing to Oregon to start the game. Oregon has flipped the script and is doing it to them now, attacking them off the dribble, getting in the lane, getting easy buckets. 24 paint points. That's too many to give a team up. You got to get Oregon standing around shooting jump shots as well.
Now we talked with Tad in the pregame. This as a special play ace as that drops to give Oregon, by the way, the biggest lead now. That's 11 points. Tad Boyle coached here back in another year before you were the coach, head coach. Tad was on the staff here, and he and his wife Ann were married here 26 years ago. He took a walk after shoot-around today. He wanted to walk around campus and revisit the old spots he knew so well.
So you're trying to tell me he's a Duck at heart still?
He's a Jayhawk at heart. You know that. But Eugene, even Tad was very open. Eugene has a special place for him.
Well, I tell you what, not only is he a great coach, he's a great man. Really cares about his kids. Does a great job of parenting, fathering them, and coaching them as well. They like him. The kids like playing for him. They recruit a lot of good high school players and develop them to make them great college players. And again, that's the mark of a good program and a good coach that can, especially in this day and age with so many people jumping into the portal and all those things. He has stayed true to himself as to who he is as a coach and as a program. My hat's off to him, because that's not easy to do in this day and age.
And Simpson makes both. And you're going to get a timeout there. Barthélemy trapped in the bad spot, and he takes a timeout. So we never pass up the opportunity to take a timeout, do we? Ducks by 9, early second half.
Take an artisanal tortilla, add some fire-grilled pollo perfection, maybe a little slow-braised beef. Grill, dip, eat, and repeat. New local burrito grillers, only from El Pollo Loco. Feed the flame.
Old Trapper Beefs. Fake protein.
Guys, can we take a quick protein break? Protein City. I got my beans, my bars, my goos, my glumps, my fizz. I don't know what that one is, but you want in? I'm good, man. I think Goop was a bad choice.
Old Trapper, what's your beef?
our citrus marinated slow grill famous pollo. Cut to order by us so it can be enjoyed by you. The Family Feast. 8 pieces of pollo, 2 sides, an avocado salad, and churros. Starting at $24. El Pollo Loco. Feed the flame.
Pac-12 leading scorers are presented by Jimmy John's. Tubelis leading the conference in points and rebounds, but KJ Simpson standing a very strong second in points. Not tonight. 6 points, just 2 of 8 from the field right now for Simpson. And remember that you also have Oregon playing tonight without the number 4 rebounder in the conference. And Fale Dante, 4th at almost 8 rebounds a game. And without Dante, Oregon right now is still +3 in rebounding.
Yeah, but KJ Simpson needs to get going. He's the guy that has the ball in his hand. He's going to have to give this Colorado team a spark and put some points up. And I think when you do that again, if he can get going, he'll get Tristan Da Silva going as well, too. Because right now, Da Silva's 3 for 7, 7 points. KJ, as you mentioned, 2 for 8, 6 points. This is not good enough.
Well, that's out of bounds. Will Richardson was out of bounds when he touched that ball, so it'll come back a turnover on the inbounds to Colorado.
I tell you what, Ted, for a coach coming out of a timeout, knowing the press is on, and turning the ball over, that's one of the worst things, worst feelings in the world, to know you just come out of that huddle and we go right back out on the floor and turn the ball over against a press that we probably just talked about in the timeout.
All right, Simpson, Will Richardson been defending him much of the night. Hadley got the foul line. And Biddle adding to a career high. It's his 8th rebound. Biddle hasn't played a lot here. This is going to be his best game so far as a Duck. Can he add to it? No. Denied at the rim.
Thought he waited too long. Should have went right up. Catch high, finish high. Brought the ball down, gave the defender a chance to recover.
Hammond trying that interior pass. Deflected and stolen. Ooh, Bartholomew. Right with that. Look at that. Nice punch by Will Richardson. But tracked down by O'Brien. Da Silva. And there's going to be a foul against Bartholomew defending Julian Hammond.
And that's a tough foul to have. You do a good job over your feet. You shut the offensive player down in the lane. Now it's just a matter of getting those hands straight up and being big in the lane. The reaching at the last minute calls the foul and everything. See the reach in right there, gets him on the arms. Good call. You did everything right up until finishing the defensive play just by keeping hands straight up in the air and making that offensive player take a tough shot.
So that'll put Julian Hammond at the line for Colorado. Buffs have gone 2.5 minutes without a basket. And again, we've had a game so far that's been light on fouls, therefore very light on foul shots. These are just the 3rd and 4th of the game for Colorado. Couisnard and Luke War in. Guerrier and Soares out. Two makes for Hammond. That's been one area Colorado has not shined at this year. Their team foul shooting numbers not very good. 4 for 4 chances tonight. Da Silva gambled, and Oregon pays at the other end. Luke War.
And that's the way to break a press. They got out of the double team. Don't slow up. You go attack a pressing team. Go right to the basket and score. Great job by the Ducks.
So now Da Silva's going to try to get it back. That had a little intent. He realized what just happened, and he got the 2 right back.
He certainly did.
Again, look at the action here with Richardson running off the ball, Simpson guarding him, Couisnard playing up top. And Luke War hits the 3.
That was created again off the dribble drive, dribble penetration, draws the defense into the lane. Wide open 3-point shot.
Just the 6th made 3 of the year for Luke War. And he's someone, again, that doesn't play as much, but getting time tonight with Dante not playing.
You see the dribble penetration right there, forces De Silva to help and gets the wide open three in the corner. And the bench certainly liked it. I love it when they throw up those three. But, hey, I got three, you got three, we all got three.
Oregon has had a little uptick the last few games in their three-point shooting. Last 4 games in particular, up in the mid-30s, which is just again, it's an up move, and they're on that same track tonight.
Well, one of the things we talked about again early in the game is the fact that Dana's teams have always had a pure three-point shooter and another really good shooter. It makes coaching, it makes the offense so much easier. Coaching's easier, the offense flows easier, and you've got guys that can flat out put the ball in the basket.
All right, Colorado with some subs here after the foul shots.
I like the fact that Colorado's putting the pressure on. They got to change the tempo of the game. Oregon needs to be aggressive now. And if any double team, come on the double team and go score.
Now, so far this half, we're almost 7 minutes in. It's been point trading, not necessarily basket trading, but point trading, and that doesn't work for Colorado.
No.
Need to switch the vibe here. Oh, great move by Richardson. Excellent play. That's all Will Richardson and a technical foul. And let's see, Biddle said something. So Biddle picks up a technical foul, which will be his 3rd personal.
Great play by Richardson to draw the defender and give him the dunk. And Biddle finishes and actually yells in the face of the defensive player, I should say.
That has to be the interpreter.
Growl, yell, grunt. It's still a taunt, and you can't do that. You got to make that play and get away from that defender. You can growl once you get away from him, but you can't sit up on top of him and growl in his face after.
Just watching him once, that's a tough call because you understand it's not supposed to be directed at an opponent, but you would, I think, have a fair, to watch that again, have a fair reason to question, was that just him exploding? It wasn't directed at the Colorado player.
And Dana
but that's what makes it a technical foul.
Yeah, Dana knew it right away because he even said something to Biddle also that you can't do that. So it just becomes a teaching moment. He's played so well in the game. I'm sure he'll get a break and he'll get him right back out on the floor.
Again, this has already been Nate Biddle's best game as an Oregon Duck on a night when it's been so valued, and as a result, big part of the 9-point Oregon lead.
Keep in mind again, Lawson Lovering has been an outstanding defender in this conference so far, and Biddle scoring at will against him.
So this dunk ties Biddle's career high with 11 points.
I don't mind this because this is toughness here. I mean, does a nice job of dunking. If it's a technical you're going to get, okay, take it. But that's just a nice emotional play for a young player coming of age. So I don't fault him too much at that one, even though you've been talking to a teaching moment to sit him down. But I'd pat him on the butt and get him right back out there. So go dunk on him again.
Yeah, that's a tough call. And again, it is a point of emphasis this year. So that helps illuminate why that call was made. Foul here on Lovering.
He goes over the back of Ware. Ware is going to be a good player. It just looks like he cruises, though. More intensity, more motion, more grunt, more grit, more dog. You know, he's got a skill set in him, but this game at this level is played a lot harder, a lot more tougher than what he's playing right now. And you just got to be a little bit more aggressive. He's got the skill to get it done.
Cover against the press and a foul on Kuznard. So Colorado trying to use a little bit of Oregon's classic medicine back against the Ducks.
And the thing is, when you press and you got a double team at one end, they've got you 2-on-1. If you can get out of the double team, you're going to have them 4-on-3 at the other end of the floor. That's why it's so important to handle the double team, but then go attack. Go attack any press, because you're giving them numbers defensively to trap you. They're giving you numbers offensively to go and attack.
2 foul shots here for Jalen Gabadon, who's from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, played at Yale, graduate transfer this year, who told me today this is absolutely the last year he will ever play basketball.
How about that? And why is that?
He is a computer
Think about
expert. He's an entrepreneur, has already started up one company, spent 2 one summer interning for Google, was scheduled for a second intern summer, but COVID stopped that. Meanwhile, huge play for Nick Clifford, and this is exactly what Colorado needed. First little push for the Buffs in the second half.
You've got to go attack this. You can't go and pull it out because now you're susceptible for this team to keep the pressure on you. Well, if they're not going to go score, let's just keep pressing them. If you can go get a couple of scores, you go get a couple of scores against them, you get them out of the press. But this is just bad ball handling, not giving the ball up. Very difficult to dribble between a double team. In that case, it was a triple team. But if you can pass out of that, you should go score.
All right, foul here on Colorado's Gabadon. That's 6 fouls now against the Buffs. So we're going to start getting into 1-and-1s here.
Remember how that first half went so fast without a lot of fouls called? Well, this was going to get bogged down.
Yeah, you knew that. You knew that was coming. Richardson sends it up inside for Ware. And one. Well, we're seeing tonight why Richardson is near the top of the conference in assists.
Well, let's talk about Ware. I just said earlier, he's very skilled. If he could just play a little bit more grit and toughness, he has a chance to be a special player.
Pac-12 basketball is presented by Wendy's, the official breakfast of the NCAA. And by Angie. Angie's List is now Angie. To tackle home projects big and small, download the app today. I have a feeling I'll be there for breakfast.
Voodoo, voodoo.
Voodoo. I'll be there for breakfast in the mornings to block from the hotel. That's very nice. All right, our Pac-12 basketball presented by Wendy's, Oregon by 7.
Let's talk about what a slip screen is, because you'll see a play here. Well, Will Richardson sets it up nicely here, and you see the screening action coming right here. The defender elects, there's nothing in basketball that says you have to get screened. It forces the big defenders to step out, and Ware does a nice job slipping right to the bucket to get the dunk there. So again, nothing in basketball says you have to get screened, forces your defender to help. Richardson makes a great read. Ware makes a great slip, catch and finish it. There's a great example of catching high, finishing high on the dunk. Not bringing the ball down with that 5'7" point guard can bother you.
And the consequence of that is a turnover. It's Oregon pressing now after the free throw. And Bartholomew hits a 3, and just like that, a huge...
Remember, Colorado is turnover prone, so I would keep that pressure on them, but you see what they do.
And they break and get 2 back. De Silva dunking. That's a little bit of a gut punch. And what happened on the play that Ernie just ran through, it didn't look like much, but there was a foul called on Lawson Lovering, and that was his 4th with over 11 minutes to play. Tad Boyle was, to be gentle, irate over the call during the timeout.
You know, both of these teams are starting to press a little bit to control the tempo of the game. Colorado was really aggressive with the press. When and if Oregon can score, you'll see them throw that press on again, because Colorado is also susceptible to turning the ball over.
De Silva thought 3, goes right by War, and fouled on the floor. Which again is that gets me my first soapbox moment of the night. College needs to change this rule.
What's that, Ted? Talk to me, Ted.
Guy beats his man. Now you're going to a reach and foul by Kuznard, and you've penalized the offensive player. You've penalized the offensive player for making a good move.
You have, because they're still in college and not in the NBA.
I know. That's why college needs to change the rule.
That would have been an AM1.
Yeah.
And you bring up a very good point. Because quite frankly, that was a heck of a move by De Silva.
I'm saying, the guy beat his man. He made a move, and now you penalize.
He beat 2 men. He beat his man, and he does a little dipsy doodle at the bucket around another defender as well. Speaking of NBA, there's Jabari Walker, one of the all-time great Colorado Buff players. I remember him. He was just a load to handle. Could really score. Tremendous leader.
Yep.
You know, I'm really a tremendous leader of this team.
He's also part of that Portland team. So nice effort. Chauncey Billups and Jabari Walker making the 100-mile-plus trip down here tonight to see their school. There's Coach Billups.
I've always said, you know, it'll show you if you made the right decisions. If once you're out of school, you're still supportive of your school. You're coming to see games. And for them to make that effort down here, it tells you what they think of this university.
Well, that's why I feel good for you, because I'm back with you here tonight, man. And I'm telling you, his phone hadn't stopped ringing. Everybody, even at halftime, everybody came over to say hi. The former players checking in.
Always nice to come home.
Nice poke there. De Silva poked it.
Great pass.
Oh, look at that! Clifford finishes, but excellent play by Tristan De Silva.
And here comes the pressure again. Remember now, any score by both of these teams stepped up the press, and this is a great opportunity to get out in the open court. This pass by De Silva is just fantastic.
I mean, the catch and the finish too, but boy, De Silva, because he created the turnover to start.
What he did was showed off his skill set. Yeah. When I say skill, ability to pass, dribble, and shoot the basketball, more importantly, see the play and make the play. And he was able to do that.
De Silva's parents were in Boulder last weekend. Came up from Brazil for the series.
The Buffs are a great rebounding team. Oregon's done a pretty good job of keeping them off the glass, but as this game trickles down, we're under 10 minutes to go now. Let's just keep an eye on turnovers, offensive putbacks, and sometimes you get offensive rebounds. Certainly there's a foul to follow as well too, but you can see the rebound numbers there. When they played January 5th, Colorado 18+ rebounds over the Ducks. Tonight's 3, so I'm sure there's an adjustment by Dana Altman about keeping them off the glass, blocking them off, and doing a better job of rebounding the ball at the defensive end.
Right, you're looking at something there, but and just to amend my point there and finish on Tristan De Silva. Brother Oscar, big brother Oscar, who's a tremendous player, all-conference player, and Stanford's playing professionally in Germany, where the family is from. Oscar De Silva was just a fabulous model, and Tristan is forging a similar career to his big brother in Boulder.
Great ball.
And Clifford, well, this is much needed for Nate Clifford tonight, and the Buffs have made that push, and now they're 2 down.
I'm just shocked that Oregon's turned the ball over this much. Usually they're forcing turnovers. Colorado's press is really bothering Oregon.
And that's a no call on the drive by O'Brien into Biddle, who's playing with 3 fouls. No call on the turnover. Ball will come back to Oregon.
Oregon was cruising along, having this game under control, but it's ball movement like this that has brought Colorado back in the game. Look at the constant one-mores on the passes there, and then the fake one-more knocked down the 3. Excellent job of ball movement, player movement, and causing that defense to rotate not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 times they forced the defense to rotate, which gave them the open shot.
Look at that, real pressure forcing Soares to work hard to get that ball across the timeline. Tad Boyle's using every whistle to try and sub people in to keep that pressure going. Oregon had a pretty good grip on this game a few minutes ago, is now trying to reestablish it. Richardson. And that's 3 seconds on Biddle.
That's the second 3-second call in this game. Now, very seldom did you see 1 in college basketball. That's 2 tonight. And they were the right calls. It's just a call that's not called that much.
So while Nate Biddle's having his best game for Oregon, inside a block. I believe that was Soares that got it. And Kuznard out with the ball. He's going. Lost it. And no foul there. That was a good no call. Kuznard just lost it. Trying to really accelerate.
You know, sometimes you got to know when to go and when to slow, and he just got too fast with the ball that time, loses it off his hands, off the body. Correct call by the official.
This is Clifford sliding. Clifford, by the way, is having his best scoring game for Colorado, who's matched his career high now, 15 points. And again, that is a major lift for the Buffs.
Especially here on the road where Tristan De Silva has scored not up to his potential yet. KJ Simpson scored not up to his potential yet in terms of their numbers. So you need another player stepping up.
Turn the corner towards the 8-minute mark to go here. What had been that 8 to 10 point lead for Oregon, much of the half is now down to 2. 9 straight for the Buffs.
They've gone to a zone right now and trying to get Colorado to stand around a little bit.
Abaddon sets up Clifford. Ooh, Hadley had the rebound, could not save it. He was on the baseline. It'll come back to Oregon.
And we talked about rebounding. Another offensive rebound, they lose it out of bounds, but they've got to do a better job of keeping Colorado off the glass.
Your point, Ernie, about this pressure. Oregon has now turned the ball over 5 times in the last 3 minutes.
Colorado's on a 9-0 run because of that. And again, when you get pressed, you're 2-on-1 defensively. Offensively, you need to break that pressure and go score because you're 4-on-3 at the other end of the floor. If you break a press and set up, then you're telling the defense to continue to press you because you're really not making them pay for pressing.
Now to the late clock, Richardson against Simpson. Soares takes it, he got bumped on the way, and that's a floor foul against Clifford. It'll be a 1-and-1 foul shot when we come back from the under 8 timeout in a 2-point game at the mat. All right, a real tight one now in the final 8 minutes in Eugene, Oregon by 2, but here is a brilliant offensive play by Colorado.
Well, and the reason for that is good offense forces defenses to rotate 3 or 4 times. And right off the bat, if we get going here, you can see there's going to be a great back cut right here that starts it. So the defense has to rotate, and after that rotation, they've collapsed on the ball, freeze it. Here comes another rotation where you've got to close out on a 3-point shooter, and they're going to force you to rotate again, let it go again, and then he drives and forces you to help freeze it. And here comes another rotation off of this pass. It costs the defenses to rotate to another shooter, and by now they're just playing with you. A nice ball fake and a wide open 3-point shot. So good offense forces defenders to rotate not once, not twice, but sometimes 3 or 4 times. You force that defense to rotate. Eventually, they are going to break down. Right there in front of Chauncey Billups, they get them to break down with a pump fake and knock down a 3. Great offense by Colorado.
It's really fun why every game is different, because we were talking at the beginning about Colorado dribble penetration. Colorado shooting only 7 threes attempted Sunday at home to win a game. They've made 6 of 13 tonight.
Well, and both of these teams, Oregon's inconsistency, I think, is because a lot of new players, a lot of injuries. They haven't been together long enough to have great continuity offensively. More importantly, defensively. Colorado, young team that breaks down mentally, so they break down on defense just because of being young and not having a mental toughness to know your job, do your job, possession by possession. So with both of these teams, the more you can drive, force them to rotate once, kick it, force them to rotate again, kick it, force them to rotate again. Eventually, they're going to break down and give you easy looks.
That was you just showed us a great example of that. All right, that was a 1-and-1. Soares made both, and that's the last one for Oregon. Now they'll be shooting in the double bonus every Colorado foul. Simpson, no. Simpson not having a shooting night. 2 of 10 from the floor, 8 points total. Richardson taking it back at him. And Richardson draws a foul on Simpson. Simpson, that one to me looked like Simpson got a little discouraged when he missed that shot. Richardson took the ball right back at him.
Well, that's one of the good things that Richardson does. I think he's very good in the open court at putting that pressure on his defender and backpedaling him into that lane, going downhill, forcing the contact.
That's an age-old basketball trick, man. If somebody's mad because their shot doesn't go at him at the other end.
You bet.
And there you go, 4 straight free throws out of the timeout, and the Ducks have the lead back to 6.
Well, they needed that because they went on that 3-minute scoring drought where they let Colorado on a 9-0 run. They've kind of gotten control a little bit again. These next few possessions are going to be huge defensively for Oregon, offensively for Colorado.
Barthélemy guarding Simpson, the old mates against each other. Simpson gets in there, gets up with big boys. Ball out of bounds. Will come back to the Buffs with 9 to shoot.
Barthélemy is doing a good job of just dogging Simpson, not letting him have easy touches. In this play here, he tries to go up between 2 guys, forcing up a tough shot, so he's getting a little bit frustrated in the game.
Shot clock. Clifford didn't get it off in time, so turnover back to Oregon. 11 turnovers now for Colorado, 15 for the Ducks tonight.
They would be in control of this game had they not turned it over against that pressure, because not only did they turn it over, they gave up easy buckets after the steals.
There you go, first basket in 5 minutes for the Ducks. Despite that, they now have an 8-point lead again.
Well, plus that score gives them an opportunity to press a little bit. They come back and
Colorado's going to stop it. So out of the last timeout, 6-0 for Oregon. And the 2-point lead has grown to 8.
I like the fact that Oregon is doing a nice job of getting in the lane. All night they've been able to score in the paint, and they've done it off of dribble penetration, forcing rotations by a young Colorado team, and then giving up the dunk here. Again, a young, inexperienced team, it really takes a lot of mental toughness to not break down and stay alert for 1, 2, 3, 4 rotations on defense. Otherwise, they can give up a lot of easy buckets.
All right, short timeout here for these teams. So here's today's updated net rankings, and still the top 2, although UCLA is in trouble in their game at Galen Center right now. And that scramble, which 6 schools are involved in. Utah up after a home sweep last weekend. Arizona State down after losing 2 at home.
And in Oregon, USC, if they can pull one tonight, I think they jump significantly. Yes. But they've got work to do. Washington State obviously does. Colorado, USC, Oregon, even Arizona State still has work to do. Utah, they've got to continue producing wins as well.
So we're in another scoring drought. The Ducks have gone 5 minutes without a basket. Colorado's over 3 minutes without a point. And that stops on De Silva's make. Still a ball game here. 6 points with coming up to 6 minutes left.
Oh, this is going to come down to the last 2 possessions of the game, because Colorado, they do a good job of grinding the game out, and Oregon's kind of the same way, and not having really the firepower to get away from it. So it's really going to come down to stops and free throw shooting, not turning the ball over the last 2 minutes of the game.
No good by Richardson. Julian Hammond back with it, letting Simpson play off the ball. Hammond going right in. Shot fake to Silva in the paint, draws a foul. Colorado hoping for the and one. No basket. Someday this will happen, but not now.
Here's that shot fake, dribble penetration, and it's a good idea, but you can see just a little bit late. Yep. Just a little bit late sliding over. We talked about UCLA, USC. SC up 5 with 7 minutes to go in the game.
Yeah. De Silva there, you see him turn around. He's talking to Barthélemy again. These guys they all know each other so well.
Barthélemy was late getting there and kind of had to drag the leg to try to get the charge without being a block.
Not only is there no and one, but it's ruled not even a shooting foul. So this is a 1-and-1 coming for De Silva. Lovering has been out now a while. We'll see if Tadwell brings him back in at some point. Lovering with 4 fouls. De Silva makes both.
Back to a 4-point game. Here comes that press again. You've got to stay aggressive and attack. If you don't, the pressure will continue to build on you.
Tad Boyle giving Nick Clifford the assignment here against Will Richardson.
I don't think he can guard Will Richardson. I'd spread the floor and just have him take him off the dribble.
Bellamy gives it to him. Let's see. Late clock. Richardson's
Gotta
going to
go.
have to do snow. He's going into Biddle in the mismatch against Hammond, but Biddle's shot pulled down. Here's Simpson back. Catch three. Da Silva with a huge trail three to make it a one-pointer.
And again, to me, they've got size guarding him. They've got inexperienced players guarding him. Get after him. I want to take over the game here.
All right, well, Richardson's he's gonna have to go here. Nope, he's gonna set up Guerrier. Good shot fake.
Great shot.
Oh, that's nicely done by Quincy Guerrier.
Good assist by Richardson as well, too, setting that up.
And Guerrier took it right to the 0 on the shot clock. Corner three, no, by Clifford.
Oregon was lucky there because they left them wide open. Two guys regarding one player. A little bit more communication would help that.
All right, under 4 minutes now.
This is where the game is so critical to get stops. Don't turn the ball over. Even if you don't score, at least get to the free throw line. You keep that pressure on the officials to make calls, but you're keeping the pressure defensively and not bailing out the defense. Just go right at them.
Guerrier wants it on Gabadon. No, follows his own. Yes! 5 straight for Quincy Guerrier. Simpson. Rounded out. Biddle clears.
Biddle has had a nice game. Done a nice job.
Well, that's a big miss. And now if Oregon scores here, that changes. It's a big swing for the final 3 minutes. Richardson had a screen for a three, then put it down, lost it. That's going to be held. And possession's going to go to Colorado with a timeout.
You know, Oregon has done a good job in this half, especially Guerrier. You see with a great shot fake, the clock goes down, stays with it, knocks down the big three, and then now he comes down and posts up, shows you the diversity of his game, and scores off of an offensive putback. Guerrier ducks in control.
35 miles or so up 99E to is it 99E? 99W. Come on, Harry. We'll go up to Corvallis.
99.
JB Long. Thank you, Ernie. You're a local. JB Long and Eldridge Rukasner will be in Gill.
We just called it 99.
For Utah and Oregon State. All right. What a night with N'Faly Dante being a very late scratch. Nate Biddle, best game so far as a dunk. He's our jockey difference maker.
11 points, 11 rebounds. Not knowing you're going to play the major minutes. N'Faly Dante goes down in warm-ups. You're called upon to do more, and he has stepped up and been the difference maker in this game, doing more, giving himself more opportunities to score, offensive rebounds. I thought he's played extremely well. He's been the difference maker in this game so far.
He's played a career-high minutes. This is the most he's ever played in a game at Oregon. He has a career high in rebounds. He's tied his career high in points.
You think he'll go have a conversation with Dana? Coach, give me more minutes, more points, more rebounds.
Going in second, N'Faly who? Oh, Brian doesn't get the bounce. It's going to be out of bounds to Oregon, so the Buffs have hit, again, another. They've strung some empty possessions together at the wrong time.
Even that play there, Nate Biddle got down, moved his feet. He didn't block the shot, but he forced the shot to be changed. Now, this is critical here. You cannot be conservative coming out of this pressure.
You can't get trapped in the corner like that. Held ball. This one will stay. Well, actually, this will go.
I'll use my Top Gun Maverick. That was the coffin corner.
Yeah, exactly.
He got stuck in there. That was in the movie there. You cannot go into the coffin corner and pick the ball up after you use your dribble and have nowhere to go, because the corner now acts as the third defender against the double team.
Our score bar there is wrong. The possession goes to Oregon. on that tied ball. So we have a timeout taken. I believe that was a team timeout.
Dana called it on that one.
Dana, that's what I thought. Dana Altman called the timeout.
He's got that pin over there. I tell you right now in this huddle, he's talking about press break and staying out of the corner, staying higher up the floor. So if you stay foul line extended and the double team comes with the guy in the middle, you've got an opportunity to go score now. They're taking away the throwback. So you've got to get somebody into the middle of the floor as well. When that ball comes out of that double team, remember, they're trapping you 2-on-1, which means if you get out of the double team, you have them 4-on-3 offensively, and you need to go score against them.
So from fourth grade basketball on, you learn to never inbound the ball into that corner.
They ought to
It's
call
amazing,
for corner.
even at the highest levels, we'll still see it happen.
Yep. There and at half court. Don't pick up the ball at the half court against the press and use the half court line as the third defender.
All right, so Oregon is down to one timeout. And Colorado will now have the possession. And there's out of bounds. Kuznard out of bounds, so the ball back. And that's a break for Colorado, but they need to cash in now. They can't afford too many empty trips.
You can see again, Ted, when I talk about skill that Oregon's had in the past, they've had 4, 5, 6 tremendous ball handlers that would just eat up any press. And now they struggle against pressure because of the skill set of the players in the program.
And just a 20-second possession here for Colorado. Hammond taking it in. No. And Biddle with another rebound, adding to that career high, number 12. Drive there, De Silva got out to stop the corner three from Soares. De Silva, boy, has picked up the points. De Silva has now scored 20 tonight.
Yes. Hasn't usually done that on the road. This is a good game for him.
The end of the clock, Richardson, no. So it's still light for the Buffs. 90 seconds. Oh, good poke by Kuznard. And O'Brien blows right by the big guy, and Tad Boyle will take a timeout after the make.
We're in a 4-point game with 1:13 to go, and again, I told you, Colorado, they're going to turn this into a full timeout, but Colorado does a good job of just grinding out the game. This is a nice move, nice shot fake, gets up in the air and scores. They're going to come out of this timeout, put the press on again, try to force Oregon into a turnover situation. Colorado is right in this game with 4 points, 1:13 to go.
So there's your situation, a timeout left for each team. Colorado does have the arrow. And there is one more 1-and-1 foul possible for Colorado to have to shoot.
Look at how the game has changed. In the old days, you used to have the timeout, you're sitting on your chairs. Every team in the country, every timeout, they get away from the bench, come out onto the floor. And a lot of that has to do with coaches coaching and teaching, and maybe have to chew a little tail every now and then. They don't want to be sitting with their fans, because a lot of times those fans are the parents sitting behind the bench.
A little history lesson. I've always been told that started, the first team that ever did this was Kentucky in the 60s. Adolph Rupp was going into play at Notre Dame at their old field house, old barn on the Notre Dame campus, and Notre Dame put the band right behind the Kentucky bench. So Adolph Rupp said, the heck with that, we'll move out here. And of course, that forced a rule change. You could no longer put the home team band behind the visiting team bench.
You can just stick them at the end of the bench now in the stands, let them blow those horns in your ear.
Adolph Rupp was the first coach to ever say, we'll just huddle out on the court.
There you go.
There's the band. Hey, by the way, props. That band did a terrific job tonight pregame, the Oregon band. Very cool music, jazzy. Didn't blow my eardrums out, thankfully.
Ted,
well done by the Ducks band.
Ted, your old blast from the past, you out there getting
I love it.
Getting this dance game on a little bit. I love it. I know you had that in your system.
Good job. All right, here we go. 73 seconds.
So they're forcing you to pass to the corner. They got the trap on the corner. They're taking away the throwback. And then everybody else is in a man-to-man. So it's just very important that you are aggressively attacking this press. Very good job there.
Yeah, Gavin call for the foul there. But this again, now Oregon's shooting 2 on every foul there. 68 seconds left.
We talked about this coming down to a free throw shooting contest, taking care of the ball, not turning it over. You're right under almost a minute to go in the game. Free throws are at a premium right now. Point guard play is at a premium right now, and obviously taking care of the ball.
Ducks are 9 of 12 as a team tonight. Kuznard with Nick Kuznard. Only his 7th game of the year, 83% at the line. Of course, what Colorado now may choose to play here these last 68 seconds is the trade 2 for 3.
Oregon would be bad, put a little pester press on them. You don't want to all out speed them up. Just make them take time off the clock and not get into their offensive set too soon, and the clock becomes your friend.
Simpson going in, blocked by Biddle. Clifford in, and Clifford with a big drive. Career high scoring night for Clifford, and Colorado just took its last timeout following the make. What a terrific save there after Biddle had his 4th block shot of the night.
You know, Biddle's just been fantastic again, moving his feet, staying down, playing big in the lane. I just thought he's done an outstanding job. He kind of misses this one, but Colorado takes this time out because they didn't want Oregon to inbound the ball quickly and not give them a chance to set the press on. So they take the time out. Here comes the press again, and you bet he's talking about possession versus possession now. We get to steal, here's what we do, and jump into it again.
What a night for Nate Biddle. And if you just flipped on him recently, and Fale Dante, about 10 minutes before tip tonight, came out from the locker room with an ice bag wrapped around his left knee. We were told he would not start, and obviously he has not played. So something went awry in pregame warm-up tonight. There's Dante. But Nate Biddle has played the most minutes in a game in his Ducks career. He scored the most, or tied his career high points, career high rebounds, and blocked shots. All of it. And now Kuznard's going to go back to the foul line.
You know, this is a great opportunity for Biddle. I mean, you talk about the growth potential of this young man. I have been impressed the way he's handled himself because he stayed down on a lot of shot fakes. He's played big and forced his shoot over the top. He's got 4 blocks in the game, but he's probably changed another 4 or 5 shots because of his length and causing pressure as Colorado's driven to the bucket. So to have 11 points and 11 rebounds and 5 block shots and change it another 4 or 5 shots, that's an outstanding night for him. He saved the day for Oregon if they can get out of here with the W.
Trying to make Kuznard in the double bonus. And the other side, confidence, as you know better than I, Ernie, about how important confidence is for a player. What about Nate Clifford? Because he's really been scuffling offensively. Career high 17 tonight for the Buffs.
Good job for him, too. But I'll tell you something about big men like Biddle here. You always give them confidence because it takes them longer to develop because they've been the biggest guy the entire life in high school, grade school even.
All right, Kuznard has not given the Buffs anything. He's made 4 straight at the line. Don't they need that? No.
Another rebound by Biddle.
Scramble, loose, out of bounds where? Let's see. Gonna go to Oregon. And we have not seen Lawson Lovering, by the way. He has not come back in the game since he picked up his 4th foul, and that was over 11 minutes to go in the game. Tad Boyle has stayed with obviously a smaller press-oriented lineup.
You know, a lot of teams have gone to putting all 5 guys out of bounds on an inbound play like this. And then that way they sprint the floor and one guy comes back, because Oregon has really struggled just getting the initial pass in. And then that double team and taking away the throwback has worked well for Colorado.
Kuznard barely got out of that one. On his way out, it soars in and didn't get the highlight play, but will get foul shots.
Great job attacking the press, and this is what you do when you get out of the double team. You've got numbers. You have to go and score and put the pressure on the defense to foul you or give up the layup.
How about Oregon, man? Calmly just walking up and knocking down all the foul shots down the stretch.
You're amazed at how many games come down to this right here. Free throw shooting, point guard play, and obviously coaching and officiating in the last 2 minutes of the game.
First miss it. They made 6 straight. Hammond's 3, no, and now held ball. Held ball will go to Colorado to keep them, again, a faint heartbeat here at 19.5.
You know, again, this is going to be a great win for Oregon if they hang on here, because after getting just demolished in Boulder when they played Colorado, and doing this without Dante, keep in mind, they expected him to be the dominant center on the floor, and it's been Nate Biddle. He's played extremely well in this game.
Silva, woo, that keeps this game alive. 23 now for De Silva. Timeout Oregon, last one. So that's it. Game's gonna
take a
coming out of
timeout.
this. Game's gonna end one way or the other. No timeouts.
Gotta have heads up, because Biddle was wide open down the floor. That could have been a very easy long pass and a dunk, and the game would have been over.
Well, Nate Biddle, 11 points. That ties his career high. 13 rebounds, 4 blocks. Those are career bests. Most he's ever played the game, 29 minutes.
He's played extremely well. Active feet, hits the trail 3 here. Inside, outside, he's done it all. Here's another drive with a gift and a dunk, big time dunk. Little growl on top of that. And then here's a jump hook. Dribble, dribble, drop step over the top. I think he's played with poise, he's played with confidence. His confidence has grown as the game has gone on. He's done a nice job changing shots and protecting the paint, and his rebounding has been outstanding. 12 rebounds tonight as well, too. So here's a young man that, to me, has come of age in this game and has done a nice job. I should say 13 rebounds, but his block shots have been important. But the fact that he changed 3 or 4 more shots has been huge, too, for those have forced Colorado to miss as well. And knowing how much Colorado's like to attack the basket in this game, what a great opportunity for Nate Biddle to come of age and really help the Ducks in this game tonight. They get out here with the W. He's my player of the game, no question about it.
Nate Biddle from Central Point, Oregon, which is on I-5 just north of Medford. McDonald's All-American, by the way. So that's
played like it tonight.
Exactly right. And it's what you saw when the Ducks beat Arizona. What a marvelous game they played here. But they had the 2 bigs, Dante and Biddle, to play against Tubelis and Balo. Tie up there and a foul called with 14-6 to put Oregon back at the line.
Biddle's one of those players, and I'm looking at his body and thinking, you know, he probably needs 20 to 30 pounds, and that's not like over the summer. That's going to be over the course of his career. And if he can do that, you know, he has a chance, because he's another big that can shoot the ball, stretch the floor. And if you're talking about that next level, it's not just about, he's got the post game with the jump hooks, the up and unders, and the dunks. He's got great hands inside, shot blocker, but he also has that perimeter game where he can shoot it.
This has just been excellent foul shooting, too. Oregon has just not opened the door for Colorado. They've made their free throws. Simpson. And O'Brien clears it, but time's running out here on the Buffs. As that goes out of bounds, that'll do it. And for Oregon, a nice home court win. Despite the kind of the jolt at the beginning when they find out if Vale Dante's not going to play, there's the man of the night.
Nate Biddle, player of the game. Outstanding presence on his mind on the floor on the defensive end, and was aggressive on the offensive end. He did the job of putting Oregon over the hump in this game.
Hey, legend, nice to be with you again, Ernie.
Hey, Ted, I miss you. I really do.
It's nice to be with you. Hey, thanks to Michael Molinari, Lori Brooks, our entire crew here in Eugene. And now from Harry's World, let's send you to Gill Coliseum and join JB and Eldridge in Corvallis.